I want to welcome y'all back to another live episode of Beyond the Bleachers, hosted by your boy J. Lou and Hugh. What's going on, fellas?
What's happening, man? You all right? How's it been going today?
Oh man, I'm all right. A little tired, but I'm ready to get it going, man. It's championship weekend, man. Championship weekend coming up. About to see you going to the Super Bowl this Sunday.
Yeah, man. You know, that's something everybody interested in. You know, our boys one of the Final Four, man, and unfortunately, man, I think the Lions could have went further, man. We got wild, but you know, Jeff is always prevailed. You see what happened last week. It couldn't have been any sweeter, but I don't like referees determining anything, so I still feel bad for those guys, you know, just as bad as I felt for us. I sympathize for them. You know, we all do, but at the end of the day, man, it's like the four teams prevailed, man, and now we got the AFC and we got the NFC, and I'm definitely interested in seeing how that's going to come out, man, because, you know, a lot of people already feel like they have their Super Bowl predictions of who's going to be there. I'm just waiting for it to play out because, you know, I don't try to play God, man. A lot of times when I pick my teams this year, man, not only was I wrong, but I was dead wrong. You know, definitely look at the college championship, man. I definitely didn't pick the champions, you know. Hey, it just happens the way it's supposed to pan out. So, yeah, I'm just waiting to see, man, looking at these games and just see what's going to happen to me.
All right. Yeah. Well, it's been an exciting, I want to say, weekend, or last weekend, up until this week. Through the week, we crowned a new college football champion on Monday night. And this Sunday, we'll be crowning a NFC and AFC champion. And those champions will go on to the Super Bowl. So we'll be covering the divisional matchups from this past weekend today, and we'll also be previewing the championship games from the NFC and AFC, and then we'll be talking about. Well, actually, I want to start off with the college playoff national championship game that was played on Monday between Ohio State and Oregon. And we'll try to get into some NBA if we don't, kind of run if the NFL don't take over the whole show, which it usually does. But that's why I want to go ahead and get the college out the way, so we can get into some NFL talk. But if not, we'll be talking about some NBA. I wanted to kind of talk about the All-Star game a little bit, and then I wanted to talk about. I wanted to get this out the way, though. I want to talk about that, too. We'll probably talk about this after the national championship. But I wanted to talk about the college recruits. Like, is it too much for these kids or whatever? I wanted your opinion on that one, Hugh, and see what our listeners see how our listeners feel about that. So, yeah, I want to go ahead and jump into it, man. Well, Monday, we crowned, it was a couple of days ago, crowned a new college football champion. As being a Michigan Wolverine fan, I am grinding my teeth as I say this, but the Ohio State Buckeyes won the national championship this past Monday, beating Oregon 42-20. I did not see that coming.
Not only did I didn't see that coming, but then I didn't see their main receiver, their number one receiver, getting suspended for marijuana. He pissed me off. I felt like he let me down.
Oh, yeah.
But he let himself down, man, because them not winning his championship, it's not really all on him. Everybody have a role to play, and everybody has some type of fault. But I got to give credit to what credit's due, man. You know, I can't point fingers like, Oregon didn't do this or they could have did this better. I'm not their coach. I don't know what they have desire. Most times, man, you got to want that, man. They always preach that. They say, hey, you win championships because your play, and that's what happens. You play to win the game. And now I look at it like, man, I just feel like Ohio State wanted it more, man. If anybody wanted it, man, it was Ezekiel Elliott, man. That kid's a monster. And the thing, Ohio kid is a beast to me. Really hurts me right now, man. I don't even feel right. I feel nauseated. But he went out there and he played the best game he can play. And the third string quarterback, man, he was throwing missiles out there. Not only was he throwing the ball accurately, but he was throwing it deep. And if he couldn't do it with his arm at the time, if the pressure came in, he did it with his legs. So I was impressed with this young guy. Their quarterbacks all got banged up, but he was like a third string guy, a third option who came in and mentally and physically played like a first string quarterback. So you have to be impressed with that as well. You got to look at Urban Meyer and their coaching staff, man, to have somebody play like that, you know.
See, I think that's what won that national championship for them. Because you got to look at the gauntlet they had to go through in the past and those last 3 weeks of the season. They had to go through the Big Ten championship game, which was against Wisconsin, and they made Wisconsin look very mediocre. Wisconsin's good football team. You know what I'm saying? Was the nation's leading rusher, Melvin Gordon on their team, massive offensive line, pretty solid team. I think Wisconsin lost 3 games all year. So Wisconsin wasn't pushovers. They shut them out. You know what I'm saying? They shut them out. And I think that Big Ten championship game, looking back on it now, set the tone for this run for them.
That should have woke me
I know
up.
my bias made me overlook what they were doing, but looking back on it, and as as a sports guy and doing my analysis, I have to be, you know what I'm saying, I can't be biased or whatever, or play any favoritism. I know I'm a true Amazing Blue fan, but just looking back on that gauntlet with Wisconsin, then they had to go and play a semifinal game against Alabama, who were the number 1 seed, the favorites pretty much to take the national title. Alabama was, coming out of the power conference like the SEC. Nobody thought that, Ohio State was really going to mess with Bama like that. And they got on Bama head. You know what I'm saying? They scored 40 points on, I think it was 40 points they scored on Bama. And got out of that game. And then you play a high-powered, fast-paced offense, fast-paced team like Oregon in the national title game and just demolish them. And they were just bigger, stronger, and it looked like they just wanted it more than Oregon did. They just wanted it more. And they went out there and just kicked their ass. And I put all of that on coaching because Urban Meyer, I've admired Urban Meyer since he was at Florida. Yeah, he was at Florida, and before that, he was at Utah. And he was doing this thing at Utah. And when he got to Florida, man, he changed he had the program back on track from when Steve Spurrier left. He had the program back on track in, a matter of a year or so. And they were contending for national titles then. He won 2 there. And it's just like, this guy's coaching brilliance is ridiculous. To have, like you said, to have a third string quarterback ready to play to the point where he's winning, leading, not just managing, but he's leading them to a national championship win. That says him. Exactly. That speaks
they believe in that third string quarterback.
Your coaching staff. Right. I mean, and the coaching staff trust him too to throw the ball down the field. If you got a shot, take it. any other third string quarterback you know would have been throwing 10-yard passes or 6-7 yard dumps or screen plays or just handing the ball off to the running back. But they had a balanced attack all the way through. And you even look at it, Braxton Miller got hurt. What in preseason? Braxton Miller didn't even play a snap, did he? This year?
Not at all. He didn't.
Yeah, he didn't even play a snap.
He came in the season injured.
Yeah, JT Barrett started from day one and put on the show until he got hurt in the Michigan game, and then it was the Cardell Jones show, and he was playing like he's been playing all year, like he's been Heisman candidate, and you know what I'm saying?
Big kid, big arm.
Like I said, if people had never seen what good coaching was ever, that was the perfect example of it. That was a perfect example of having a great head coach and a great coaching staff behind it.
I want to ask you something too, James. Now that we know Oregon, and it's kind of fascinating to say it, man, every time Oregon made to bowl games, man, the Chip Kelly era and the new era with their new coach now, man, they always came up short, man. Is it that we're overhyping Oregon, man? Because after regular season, they demolished teams. We love the way they play, even in the championship games that they had before the football championship. You know, when they played, you know, we love their formations. We love how they line up for a kick, and if they got a weakness or if they see a weakness, they can sniff it out and rather go for it at 1 point, they'll go for 2 points. They're steady, high-octane attack. And we see that every year, and we say, oh, this team is awesome. We love them, man. You know, they're Nike town, Nike country. We love their, you know, from their jerseys to their whole persona. You know, they got that thing about them, that je ne sais quoi. And everybody loves Oregon. But when it comes to that big game, every time they play in the big game for it all, they always seem to come up short, man. And like you said, when you said that main thing to me, it opened my eyes up. And you said it's all about coaching. And they have Chip Kelly over there. And they have the new coaching era now. And they're still the same. Nothing really changed. But it seems like when it comes to those championship games, how come it seems like these other teams that they play, like when they played Auburn, now Ohio State, it seems like they always wanted more.
See, I'm about to tell you that this is it. And this is the dynamics of football that some people don't necessarily pay attention to. When you look at the main, like, certain power conferences, well, the power conferences, you have the Pac-12, ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12. Those are your those are pretty much your big conferences right now. Everybody has, all of those conferences I named have a certain style that they play. And with that style comes the recruitment of certain athletes. If you look at the Pac-12, the Pac-12 is basically built upon speed, pace of game, the prettiness, you know what I'm saying, the pretty stuff, the high scoring game, the fast players, and all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much the glitz and the glamour, the real pretty girl. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The pretty girl, the showpiece.
The valley girl.
Bang. ACC basically has the
Go out to
do this, you know. You know what I'm saying? That little safety is a long throw and a fast pace. But when it comes down to it, the winning the title, that's what's going to get you a title. Being able to run the ball, being able to control the clock, being able to, you know, be physical and just control the tempo. And that's all I say. Like I said, they got Oregon out coached and outplayed.
And one thing I like about it too is the fact, James, did like we're saying, man. Nobody expected Ohio State to come in and do what they did, but at the same time, man, we got to give credit where credit is due. We always make fun, and we said the BCS ranking and that computer, man. You know, this year they dictated, and which, you know, it could have still been something that they could have did about it. We figured we were going to mess up, and they needed to improve it. You know, and there would be room for improvement. Because we still felt like when we saw the TCU, you know, how they demolished Ole Miss, we like, man, they should have still been in it. Right. You know, we saw the Michigan State game with Baylor. Those two teams should have still necessarily had stake in it. And if there's teams who was in there, like the Ole Miss team, or either if you didn't want to put them in there, you could have still put Mississippi State. You said, okay, you could have had all 8 teams playing for, you know, legitimate title. But at least this time they picked some of the teams, and one of the teams I questioned at the time was the Ohio State pick over TCU and Vanderbilt. But look what Ohio State came out and did, man. All they needed was just a chance and opportunity to have the will to go out there and play the game. And for them to be, you know, the champions, that was amazing. And I was impressed with that because I said, man, they still got room for improvement, James. But guess what? I said, this is a good start.
Right. And it's that I think it really, with this, well, Ohio State women and the way they did it, they set the tone, I think, for not only the Big Ten, but I think they set the tone for what it's going to take to win in a college football playoff. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a different. They did it so professional, like you know what I'm saying? They approached every both of these games with just like a business sense. You know what I'm saying? They didn't approach it like it was, you know, the college football playoff and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have depth. Hey, you're going to have good play, you know, because this is the difference from just playing one bowl game and everything being over. You know what I'm saying? You got to play like that next week.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like it's like
every week.
Yeah,
right.
You get like a week, you get a week to prepare, and then it's back at it. You know what I'm saying? It's more like an NFL type environment. And that's how Urban Meyer had this break. Yeah.
They play every game like it was their last. From that Wisconsin game, from that Bama game, which we all thought was their last. But then when they surprised us and ran it down there, so and then at the same time too, we all have to realize too, no matter how well prepared and how well, you know, Alabama is or how well coached they are, they're young guys, man. They don't have all the same personnel they had over there with Alabama every year too, and you see it, and I saw it this year, man. A lot of their guys, they kind of remind me of, we're going to put them in the college football, you know, aspect of the sport now. They kind of remind me of the Kentucky, you know, the NCAA football. It's like they get good guys, great talent. They have some of the best scouting, and they have the best recruits come to their school. Sometimes they're one and done. You'd be surprised if they can get 2 years out of the Bama players now. But now it's like you'll get maybe 2 to 3 years, and they don't even stay their whole years. Most times they're sophomores and juniors, and they're gone. They never have a steady flow of guys, and they never stay their whole 4 years. And, you know, Bama. And when we saw this team, this was probably the most youngest and inexperienced team that they had. They didn't really have a lot of the guys on both sides of the ball like they normally do. It was a bunch of young guys, maybe first year, you know, freshmen and, you know, sophomore.
Right.
You had
right. And I was going to say that most teams, you know what this Ohio State team kind of remind me of a little bit? They remind me a little bit of how Les Miles used to build his teams, the LSU team, when they was won a little national title or whatever, and when Nick Saban had won, he recruits like, I want to say 2 years ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like a year or two ahead of everything. Where he'll have like a good season, and that be a setup season for a national championship season. You know what I'm saying? Ohio State had this team like 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And that's all they needed was to add pieces to it. You know, so they just added something here, added something here. That's when you get a line, and your line, you start your line as freshmen and sophomores, and they get 2 years playing with each other. You don't think you could put a freshman or sophomore running back behind that, or a quarterback behind that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, he set the tone for everything. Urban Meyer had in the Big Ten, especially with the recruiting, because everything, all roads to the next college football playoff and national championship is going from Columbus. I hate to say it, but he's over there building a dynasty, a powerhouse over there. Like, everybody's starting to really see it now. Because, you know what I'm saying, like I said, that talent been there for like 2 years. So now it's starting to blossom. And when it blossoms into this pretty flower that won the national championship. You know what I'm saying? So what you say is they'll keep blossoming and keep blossoming. You know what I'm saying? You win the national championship, everybody wants to come to school then.
Absolutely. Everybody's going
you know
to have them they're going to circle that team number one. And when I seen you too, James, with that game, man, you probably looked at it the same way a lot of us did. I said, damn, man, I said, this offensive line looks like Dallas, man. And I was like, their defensive line looks like, you know, one of the top defensive lines in the league. You know, like I said, man, offensive line looked like Dallas. You know, Ohio State defensive line looked like the Seattle Seahawks going after Mariota. And I said they had a whole bunch of talented players over there who just played their roles. It wasn't really no flashy guys over there. Besides the powerhouse in Ezekiel Elliott running the ball down people's throats who kind of looked like a DeMarco Murray. I said there's not really nobody else really like too flashy over there. Everybody's more or less playing their roles. I kind of questioned the thing that James, I know I kind of nitpicked after the Oregon loss. And nitpicked when they did trash like that. Only problem I had was I said, hey man, how come this kid, Ezekiel Elliott turns quick passing things on him, but you can see his pass. And I'm like, man, I didn't know you could wear your identity like that.
Yeah, he took it back old school, and that was real old school, like mid to late 80s to 90s, like how they used to wear like the little cutoff jersey or whatever, where they show they show like their little flight jacket things, or you know they that bad. Yeah, but I'm telling you, that's what it is, and you know it's that's leave. It's kind of I want to go into the recruiting aspect of everything, because recruiting is a big deal. To get in a program together. And I talked about this before, Hugh. I don't know if you remember, we talked about it before, like, I want to say a couple of years ago. How I know during the holidays, they had a couple of all-star games on, high school all-star games on. And they were, well, for you guys who don't really know in depth about like the high school all-star games or whatever, it's just not all-star game where you get all the best kids from the country, the nation or whatever together and put them on two separate things how to play. These kids actually, while they're playing, like at halftime or between plays or whatever they do, they have them announce where they want to go to college at. Do you think that's too much, Hugh?
I think that it is a lot of pressure on those kids, man. Some of them already have their minds made up where they're going, but sometimes, man, when it comes to the game like that, man, what if I'm going to a game, James, like if I'm trying to get recruited and you're one of my scouts and you're saying you want me to come to Michigan. I'm from Michigan. And then, another school comes along and say, okay, well, man, we're interested in you too. It may be like a Florida State. And I have Bama as well in mind. And I'm still juggling between the three schools. And then I get put on blast like that. And I'm not really for sure where I'm going. I think that's a little too much pressure to say on public eye. I know a lot of those guys might have their minds made up and they've been through what they're going to go through as far as their journey. But some kids probably still have schools where they're not 100% committed to yet because they're still like, I want to go to Bama. It's a possibility that I'll go there. Or it's a possibility that I'll go to Florida or Florida State, but my heart is where my home is, and that's Michigan. And, I think that they shouldn't have to do that, man. I think if they want to, they can, but I don't think that they should have to do it right then and there, It's going to be made up eventually where they're going to go, but I don't think they should have to do that on national TV at the time, not if they don't feel like it, because that is a lot of pressure. And remember the time when the kid did that, man, and pissed his mom off on national TV? Come on, man. That's embarrassing. And that's too much pressure on the children.
Yeah, I just not only the pressure thing, which I totally agree with you, but I think it also seems I don't know if I want to say a mixed message, but it kind of contradicts what the NCAA tried to enforce. You see what I'm saying? It almost contradicts them a little bit because you're putting these high school kids that can't take money, no kind of endorsement from anybody or whatever because they go into a college and play under NCAA rules. They're getting a scholarship, quote unquote, but you're allowing them a platform to gain a sort of celebrity status. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand.
You're putting them, you're putting them out there. Exactly. You're putting them out there on national TV. We're talking national TV. They're on like Channel 7, like on NBC, ABC Sports, or whatever, and they're declaring where they're going to go to college at. You're going to get a fan base. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's too much. It's too much. Nobody needs to go on national goddamn TV when you go to college. I mean, for real. Like that's why you have internet schools. They got all these sites where people can go to who follow that stuff. You know, if they can go through and read or whatever. You don't have to go in there and be switching hats and all this stuff or whatever. It's a show that that's kind of unnecessary because you can even say with how Ohio State just won that title or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Those kids are the superstars of that. You know what I'm saying? They can't get paid for it, nothing like that. So my thing is, if these high school kids can't get any type of endorsement, going into college, and then when they go to college and win a national title or whatever, it's like you're telling them to promote themselves or whatever, and it's for nothing. That's to say what college they're going through. I mean, it's pointless to me. It's stupid.
Yeah, I think it's silly. They're lucky that, because, and when we look at the declaring, and when they declare where they're going, it's a little bit more different when it comes from the college to the pros, because most times, as you see, James, I didn't know this until I really got deep into looking at, like when it comes to the draft. They say when those kids declare they're leaving and they have an agent, you cannot come back to college. And I said, how come? I said, what if I wanted to go? I thought I was going to be a high pick and I don't get drafted. So you mean that I'm going to just be stuck out there, or I'm going to have to go, to, the Canadian Football League or the NFL don't give me or go undrafted still to try to pursue my dreams, but just because I had an agent. And I'm like, okay, so they're saying when you declare college, you basically, if you're leaving, you better not have an agent, because if you do, then you can't come back, And that's the part where you're saying, well, it becomes a bigger deal, and that's more to the pros, and that's when the money comes involved. But we're about to get back on the topic of the college kids, man. When it comes to the college kids, man, who really cares, But then, like you said, you put these kids on the pedestal. And when I heard these games, like the Under Armour games, and when I see those kids play and when they announce their team, most times, what do they do, James, when they do that? If you're a defensive end, or if you're a running back, or whatever you are, oh, yeah, this kid right now, he's got a whole future ahead of him. Now, this kid is going to be labeled the franchise, of this, program. They basically label you before you even get into college and put you on this big pedestal and promote you. And that's where they see those dollar signs at. But those kids are not making money, and you don't allow them to. And I feel like at the time, it's that important for them to say, oh, express where they're going, then why do they have to do it on TV? If you know where they're going, they shouldn't have to really do all that, man. They just keep it to themselves, and then you'll figure out where you see them play.
Exactly. Like I said, it puzzles me, man. how they do that, and then it's like, you know, they pretty much announce it that they want to be slaves to a system that pretty much don't give a damn about it. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
It's just kind of stupid to me. I just text our producer, Hugh, and told him I had to throw this in there, Hugh, because I forgot to let you know that I wanted to talk about this, and I want to talk about this.
Okay.
Lo and behold, man, I go to sleep last night, and you know, I got a Bleacher report set up, and for those of you who don't know what a Bleacher report is, it's a sports site, very good site for people who like to follow sports and stuff like that. And if you don't follow them like that, but want to, they give you a lot of good information. They got some good writers over there on Bleacher Report, and I get a lot of updates, whether it be from NBA basketball. They let me know all the scores, NFL news, stuff like that. So, I wake up and I'm scrolling early this morning. I'm scrolling, about to get ready for work, and I look, and my eyes are like half closed because I'm trying to get used to the light. So I'm looking, and I see something that makes my eyes almost pop out of my head. That's what I saw.
So what's up?
Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather threw the fight.
Yeah, I see that. Mm-hmm. They put that in terms, yeah.
Right, and I'm like, what? Like, is this a typo or whatever? And I said, about damn time. What my question is, and Q, you can chime in if you like, Mr. Producer. You can chime in if you like. But do you think the fight is too late, or do you think it's okay? Do you think it's happening in the right timing, that it won't lose its superstar fight status, or do you think it's going to be by the time they fight, it won't be as much hype? Or do you think it's going to be the same hype that it would have a couple years ago?
I think that it should have been on before the Bradley fight. They should have fought before then. They could have done they could have touched gloves and fought before that Bradley fight, before he fought Marquez again, and before he held the other fights prior to Floyd. Now, I think before then, around that summer when he fought Bradley, they should have put on the gloves and they should have fought then. And if Floyd decided he didn't want to come back to the sport, or he wanted to hang it up, win, lose, or draw, I would have respected that. But, I feel like it was definitely drawn out a long time, and it was cool to look up there. You got UFC, and you got a 10th license. You fight, man. I don't want none of my fights aside to any fight. If you're going to fight you're going to fight them. You can't hide from no one. I'm the boss. You're not going to say, throw away your title or, vacate your title because you don't want to fight the person. You need to fight who I deserve to fight, or you're not getting myself, and that's the way you're supposed to be, because these guys are not what type of, besides the really big name guys who might not want to limit their record, most of these guys don't have no say-so in these sports. And that's why I'm looking at it now like, finally, man, we get some decency and some dignity into the sport, man, because I thought they've been so far and it's well overdue, but now it's just that they all decide that they're going to go into terms for the May the 2nd bout. I'm hoping they commit to it, man, and finally have us see something that we want us to see, because this is a long time coming, but it's like, I think it kind of cooled down a little bit because people wanted to see it, and we definitely we all thought it was prolonged. But now that they're basically coming down and making an agreement to this day, let's just hope that they give us the fight we all been waiting for, and that's all we ever wanted. But I think it was stretched 4 years, too long. But yeah, that definitely took away a little bit of his fight. But I think that they can redeem themselves now by promoting it and just having a really good, lead up to this fight now.
Right. I totally agree with you on everything you just said here. They know damn well they should have been in front. Probably about 3 years ago. And I do though think that this fight is going to be very intriguing, I should say. I think this fight is going to be very intriguing because everybody has been anticipating it. And this is the fight that made sense. You know what I'm saying? It made sense 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It made total sense 3 years ago. And I still think it makes sense now. There's no reason for them to fight anybody else but each other. Not only for the simple fact of a legacy, which I think is kind of important, especially the Floyd legacy, very important because Manny's never ducked anybody. And I don't like to say that Floyd has ducked Manny, but his antics, suggest that he's been ducking. But I just really feel like this fight makes sense money-wise. And I think,
most definitely.
I think Floyd started to understand that. I think he started to understand that it makes a lot of sense money-wise because of the simple fact of everybody getting sick of his ass fighting them the one punch slow clap for the dude. And you know what I'm saying, money team and coming doing shows and all this. They say he might make over like $110 million with this fight. One fight.
Yeah, that's
just imagine. But just imagine though, I think Floyd is to the point now where he's not, I don't want to say he don't care as much about his undefeated streak. I think he does, but I think he's willing to put that on the line for the fact that he could make even more money if he were to lose and then have a rematch with Manny. You know how much more money that is? A rematch would be even more money than the regular fight, than the first fight.
If they have a rubber band match and one, I win one, you win one, then that ain't even more money. For them to have a win under each other's belt, this is the last one, this winner takes all. Like, come on, man. That'll probably be his first money thing.
Come on. Nah, if it was a promoter like Floyd, and Manny's already a warrior. Everybody sees that he's a warrior. Floyd is who he is. Floyd is a brilliant fighter. I think he's a brilliant fighter. My gripe has never been about his fight ability. The guy is just brilliant. Defensively, offensively, he can go. I like the young Floyd when he was pre-boy Floyd. You know what I'm saying? That's the Floyd I really like. Because he get in there and mix it up, jack it on up or whatever. But it's been, now it's been all about his brand and whatever, which I understand. This is about, he want to make his money. That's fine. I ain't against a man making money. But you're in a sport where you gotta know, you know what I'm saying, how to do shit. And I just think that he's been short-changing himself by not fighting Matt. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he should have been 40, and I'm glad that those two could come to an agreement to fight, because they're both very good fighters. And man, do you know how packed the bars and stuff are gonna be, and the pay-per-views gonna sell, everything about to sell out. Like, it's about to be so much money made. It's not about to make any sense.
And people don't even care, James. So me, for instance, if I'm like, hell, James, if we can't see it at a bar somewhere, man, and we don't have nowhere to go, guess what? I'm going to order it at home. That can't be missed. That's one of those you can't miss type fights.
See, I just want to put this on here. Our producer, Hugh, texted him, he said that that's what he was worried about. He said he don't think the fight was going to be as good down as it would have been.
Yeah.
And he said he kind of, you know, kind of like, I don't know if I want to see it now. And I get what he's saying. I get what you're saying, Q. But it's still Manny and Floyd, what everybody's been asking for. And see, people get under the misconception that Manny isn't probably the bigger draw that he was, you know what I'm saying, when he was knocking people out and all this stuff or whatever, and they was looking at, you know, when Marquez knocked him out, and then when he lost that controversial decision to Timothy Bradley, which everybody, Stevie Wonder saw that Pacquiao won the shit out that fight. But the simple fact of the matter is, you gotta understand, that was like his fourth fight with Marquez. If you play somebody in a video game or on the basketball court or whatever 4 times, you're gonna kind of know their, you know what I'm saying, what they do or whatever, you know what I'm saying, their bad habits, you know, what they do good in the ring, what they do bad in the ring, that, you know what I'm saying, and Marquez just knew him. He just knew what he was gonna do. Like, both of them knocked each other down in the fight. You know what I'm saying? They've been having wars since they were bantamweight. So
yeah,
I still think that it's going to be a hell of a fight though with him and with Floyd and Manny. Both of them are good fighters. They're a little up there in age, but hey, both of them be in real good shape and they go at it. So I'm looking forward to the fight. I want to see this shit. I'm gonna be one of the first ones to order it. And hey, I'm gonna be happy to see it. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what everybody's been wanting to see. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's still gonna have a big draw. It's gonna make a ton of money. You know what I'm saying? A ton of money. And like I said, if Floyd is smart, if he's smart, and he want to put on his little shows, and hey, if you want to fix the fight, this is the shit to fix. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody will still respect him if he wins 2 times out of 3 against Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? If he has 1 loss, I would take it in. I don't know about you, but I would take an L with this fight because the rematch is gonna make so much more money. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
And if anybody will take an L to it, it'll be Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? You weren't gonna take no L to nobody else. But if you want to set an L up, if you want to set up a loss, okay, Pacquiao got it or whatever. Hey, let's rematch it. You know what I'm saying? I'll win. Hey, let's rubber match it. A 3rd installment, both of y'all can retire. Hey, y'all straight. want y'all to retire as two of the best fighters that ever fought. Fat Pocket.
Hands down.
Right, Fat Pocket, and y'all good. If you really want to make money and, you know what I'm saying, do what you want to do, like promote and all this shit, this is your biggest promoting thing right here. So, I like I said, I hope everything works out. I hope everything just goes through. I hope they'll have no setbacks. I hope the ingredients with this fight is set in stone, and they go ahead and do it, because I want to see both of them fight. I want to see both of them make some money, and both of them just entertain. Looking forward.
Yeah, because it's been a long time coming, man. It's about time that they finally set something in stone. And I'm hoping it's a start to go through, because remember last time when we thought everything was in writing, and then all of a sudden some backouts happening. They said, I didn't agree to this, I didn't agree to that. You know, what's going on with the random drug testing, and it was just a bunch of crap, man. They need to be on the same page with this, and they need to be on depth, you know what's going on, you know, because it's like you're not really understanding what's going on. You need to talk amongst each other. That's what you guys have promoters for. They just need to do what's right for us and do what's right for boxing world right now, and just get this one done, man.
Right. I agree. Yep. So now it's time. You want to take a break, man? Text me if you want to take a break. Because we could,
okay.
we could, I guess we could set up our segment for the NFL, because that's what we're gonna do. We got a lot out the way. We got a lot of good stuff out the way. So, I guess. Hold on. He said, all right. So, what we're about to do right now, we're gonna take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're gonna run down the divisional playoffs that happened this past weekend in the NFL, and then we're gonna run down our predictions for the championship games and our Super Bowl picks. We're gonna be in the Super Bowl in about 2 more weeks. So we'll see you guys in a minute. Oh, my bad, I jumped the gun. He said 2 minutes. Anyway, we can talk. we can just preview it a little bit. He said, okay. Well, you know what? Get a break, man. We just gonna go old school on it. Here. We go old school.
Okay, well, we can just keep it going.
Let's keep going. Yeah, we just gonna keep it going. Don't worry about the Q. We good. The divisional playoffs, man. I'm gonna start with the NFC. You got 2 games this week in the NFC. The Seattle Seahawks, they host to the Carolina Panthers, and the Green Bay Packers play host to the Cowboys. I want to start with the Packers and Cowboys game. What's your analysis of that game, dude? I'm curious, because I wanted to call you so bad during the game, but yeah, I had my daughter's grandmother over, and we were talking or whatever, stuff like that. But what's your analysis on the game?
That game, man, just like the game prior to when they played the Lions, man, it was more or less decided from the referees than it was really the actions on the field. But it was a really good game. Before all that happened, it was more or less dominated by the Dallas Cowboys, which surprised me, because not only did they go to Lambeau, but they went to Lambeau and they kind of punched Green Bay in the mouth. that game was theirs to lose. And I'm thinking, man, they had that game. I was kind of shocked that they went in there and they played under that poise. They played like they were at home, but then unfortunately they don't play so well at home. As I think they were like 4-4, 5-4. They were barely a 500 team at home, and on the road, they were calling them road warriors. They were undefeated on the road, and the momentum was theirs. They basically had a better tempo. They played better throughout most of the game. That one drive when they went for two after the Packers scored and couldn't make it, I said, "Uh-oh, Dallas is going to win this game." I felt like what was questionable on that drive too, you were on the 4th and 1, and you got the leading rusher. Rather than give it to him, I knew they saw something in the defense, and a lot of times when you see something, or when someone's exposed on defense, you will take advantage of it. But 4th and 1 for DeMarco Murray, man, he could make that into a 1st and 5. He could have got it easy, just 5 yards out of it, because we all know that the Dallas Cowboys got, if not the best, one of the best offensive lines in all NFL. If you were on the 4th and 1, why didn't you just run and get that first down? You could have broke out a little more time, and you could have had the momentum. You could have either went it down their throat, which I thought they could have, because they had the actual game going their way. And what hurt them too was the one when, DeMarco Murray split the seam, and he looked like he was going to go all the way to the touchdown. And that was the game changing play with Julius Pepper stripped the ball from him. I seen those two things in the game where I was like, man, that kind of hurt their momentum. But at the end, man, we're going to get to that point, man, so I don't want to dance around it anymore. The 4th and 1 play, man, I said, wow, that was the Calvin Johnson rule, because he caught that ball. I think when he tried to stretch it and get to the goal line and he bobbled it, I said, uh-oh. I definitely thought he had that first down, but we all know the rules now after the Calvin Johnson play. And I said, it ain't no way in hell they're going to give that to him, even though that was a good catch and that was a good play. Him bobbling it and not maintaining possession of that play, I said, man, they just got us with that, man, and that's the Calvin Johnson rule now. And it's like, hey, man, why ain't just fell victim to it, man? And I just thought that Victor goes to spoils in that whole situation, because I thought like they won, and I thought they had a better chance of winning. But I said, it was redemption for me. I said, they cheated us out of the ball game, and what happened with them, I said, they kind of feel our pain. They don't feel it completely, but they feel it now, because that's what we had to go through the week prior to when you robbed us of our game.
Right.
That was just absurd.
I said, I said the same thing, that I was like, because when I was watching it, and I saw it, and I immediately Facebooked about it. I was like, oh my God, man, Dez just made an out cold catch. And my argument was, did he score or not? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dang, I wonder if he scored or whatever. And then when they replayed it, I'm like, okay, he caught the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, he caught it because
he caught that damn ball.
Right. If any argument, it would be if the ball hit the ground. The ball didn't hit the ground. His elbow hit the ground, which caused the ball to come loose. And the ball popped in the air. But even when the ball popped in the air, he still grabbed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was puzzled by that. But it was funny to me because, like you said, it's almost like karma, redemption. That you say, okay, you stole one from the lion. Hey, where's that hit on the controversial card? Which, that was a big card, big ass card right there. Because Dallas could have had him a touchdown, and you know what I'm saying, well, how Aaron Rodgers was, you know what I'm saying, he wasn't really 100% or whatever, and Dallas was playing pretty decent on defense. You know what I'm saying, they were making Green Bay work for it. I think it would have been hard to drive the field. You know what I'm saying, 80 some odd yards, 70, 80 some odd yards into the end zone to win the game for Green Bay. But like I said, that was a big call. But hey, I mean, but Aaron Rodgers played very good on, and he's hurting bad. You can tell he's hurting bad. Because he got to step into his throws and stuff with that leg. That's like his plant leg, and it's bothering him. You can really tell it's agitating, and I hope he gets better so we can see a hell of a NFC Championship game. Against Seahawks was going to lead into the Seahawks and Panthers game that was played this past weekend. The Panthers just didn't belong there. They know they didn't. It was like Seattle just was like, okay, we got nothing to monsters. We have to beat them to advance. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no other choice. So, but I mean, A for effort. I mean, what else do I say? I can't really. It just look like Seattle's in rare form right now. But can you really analyze them because they played the Panthers? Can you really give them a fair assessment right now?
Not really, because like you said, that if it was either New Orleans, Falcons, or the Panthers, none of them teams belong there because they were all under 500, whoever was going to make it. And I just felt like what surprised me was when they beat Arizona at first, but then I thought Arizona defense was good enough to really maintain them, but they didn't. And I think it was more or less the Linear kid really giving that game to the Panthers than really the Panthers really just going out and take them over there. But hell, James, you know me too. And I take advantage of it. I'm too turning the scores. Hey, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be upset. Thank you. You giving me the opportunity to move on when you were a better team with a better record. So that gives me a chance to say, when people say I wasn't supposed to be there, to kind of say, okay, I wasn't supposed to be there, maybe. But now I'm in this, second round of the playoffs. So you got to give me something to be in the divisional round where we don't even supposed to be there in the first place. So I believe that's how Seahawks played it. Like, hey, man, they're here for a reason because they won that, wild card game and let us take them serious because they always played them close. And it was a pretty close game that had, after halftime, that's when the game got blew out of proportion, but they really just went crazy afterwards. And Cam, kind of showed his real form, the picks, that pick six really hurt him. But it was really good to see because it was like, man, we're still seeing the Seahawks, man, and they're only getting stronger, man, because it was like the injuries in the beginning of the season, I was still looking at them and questioning them, like, is this the same hungry Cincinnati? I mean, I take that back, Seahawks team. Cincinnati, we ain't going to talk about them because they're just flat out garbage. But the fact that when they played and they looked so bad at the beginning of the year, then they got the Byron Nicewell, they got the, Cam Chancellor, and they got Bobby Wagner, and they got all these guys afloat. But I think when Bobby Wagner came back, that really gave them their moxie because they were missing something when Bobby Wagner was going. When he came back, they're playing, I believe, James, at a better caliber. They're at a higher caliber than what they were last year. And that's the scary part about the Seahawks right now. And for Aaron Rodgers to go in and to play them and, the 12th man right now, and he's wounded, man, they're like sharks, man. They take blood, man. They're going to really take it to this guy, man. An injured Aaron Rodgers, not going to, hey, man, hell, a healthy Aaron Rodgers got his bare spine, But just imagine it. Aaron Rodgers.
Right. Yeah, I really feel I can't really assess the Seahawks right now, but what I do look at is the way they're winning. They're not like winning lackadaisical. Like you were saying, they took Carolina serious. Like, yeah, they probably ain't supposed to be here or whatever, but shit, we about to play them hard. And
absolutely,
that speaks volumes to their mental, their mentality of what they're trying to accomplish this year. They're trying to win back-to-back Super Bowls, and they're in a prime position to do it with not just their play, with their mentality. And that's what wins you back-to-backs and three-peats and all that, man. Your mind has to be there. Like your ability can be there all they want, but if your mind not matching what your ability is, putting out there, man, you gonna get beat. So, I mean, I just, who you got, man? Packers or Seattle this weekend, NFC Championship?
I definitely got to go with Seattle on this one, man. I say an injured Aaron Rodgers definitely don't help either, but not only is he injured, but then you got like a determined Seahawks team, man. Those guys, man, I still feel like they're hungry, man. It's like they still got a point to prove. And they feel like they can be in this position right now, and they basically backed it up right now. Like you said, it wasn't really like, okay, we can really say after a Carolina team who, even though they took it serious, but they kind of looked at like, yeah, okay, we got to do what we got to do, so we'll handle them and, basically go on to the next round. But just Aaron Rodgers being injured really hurts them, man. And not only that, but you got to come and Cincinnati to play well. And, I don't care how good of a quarterback you are or how good your line are. I don't know how it's possible. Seattle always seems like they can find a way to get to your ass. That's just what they do.
Right.
So, I definitely feel like it's going to be a good game, but I still have Seattle by 10 at least.
Seattle by 10. Yeah, I agree with that one. I'd take Seattle by a touchdown and a half. Without a healthy Aaron Rodgers, man, I just don't see Green Bay really doing anything, and especially with how physical that defense is for Seattle, man. Like that defense is just sick when they want to be. They're gonna kind of get after it and make you run out that pocket and stuff like that, and try to make on the run throws and all that stuff. Right now, Aaron Rodgers isn't 100% mobile like that. So, yeah, I'm taking them about touchdown and a half now. Seattle back in the Super Bowl this year. Moving on, AFC divisional playoffs this past weekend. So, Denver Broncos host the Indianapolis Colts, and then we saw the Baltimore Ravens visit the New England Patriots. I'm gonna start with the Patriots and the Ravens.
Man, I thought
Baltimore literally handed the Patriots that game. I told you last week that this game scared me, and it pretty much lived up to what I told you. Baltimore came out. They pressured Tom Brady. They pretty much played a brilliant game. They played New England like they should be played at home. That's how you have to play New England when New England has that home field advantage. And you have to play the physical tough. You can't let Brady feed off the crowd. You can't let him do what he wants to do. You don't have to make him force him to do stuff that he doesn't want to do. And Baltimore was, man, everything was in sync. They did it, and then they just at the end they was like, you know what, Patriots, we don't want it. You guys can have it. Here you go. That's basically what they did, man. But I thought that was a very good game. That was actually the best game of the weekend to me. That game, Ravens and Patriots. So, what's your analysis on it? Go ahead, Hugh. Your analysis on the game.
They were basically determined in that game when they were down 14-0. I was looking at it, and I was like, damn, James basically was telling me I should be more worried than what I was, because I was confident because I felt like Gronk was going to be an X factor, which he was. But not only that, what pissed me off is a lot of people who didn't watch the game or who don't really watch football like that. They said, yeah, man, you'll win too if you have Gronk on your team. And I listened to my laugh. And I said, man, it wasn't even a Gronk's game. I said, you can't get this with the Gronk. I said, and I refuse to give this game to Gronk, even though he had some big plays in the game. And when he scored that touchdown, the momentum started to shift. But I had to give it to the person who we all looked at James and stuff like should be there, man. We said, if you got Julian Edelman, why do you need Danny Amendola? And Danny Amendola showed up good big that day. Yeah, not only that, he caught a touchdown from Tom, but he caught a touchdown from Edelman. And I was like one of the plays when I knew that the momentum was going and shifting in the New England hands, because when they do that play, I said, why are they throwing a screenplay to Julian Edelman? That doesn't make any sense. And then when I seen him come back, I said, I looked up and seen Danny Amendola like 20 yards down the field, nobody around him. And when he threw it, I was one of the, hey, he threw that throw, that 51-yarder, man. And I had to remember, like, man, this dude used to be a quarterback in college. And I respected because when they were down 14-28, I have a lot of people at the job who they know I was the Uber fan, and they threw it in my face. They were like, man, Hugh. They basically dogged them out from saying, they're mediocre, they got mediocre players, they got mediocre talent around them, and, their defense is not that good. It's just they fit the system. They're systematic players. And they were talking stuff like one of the guys even told me, man, I would text you when, New England lose because I'm that confident they're going to lose. And I just didn't say anything. I was frustrated when they were down those two touchdowns, but when they scored those two good scores like that, and then they stopped Baltimore from scoring, they basically stopped us from scoring 7, and they kicked the field goal. And when New England got that last drive with Brandon LaFell, I said, man, this is basically what I was looking for at the game, something to go close and down to the wire. Like you said, the Ravens played them good, man. They put the pressure on time, and they had the momentum in their hands, and I felt like Flacco played them a great game. Some 2 mistakes Flacco made when he got greedy cost those guys the games because, statistically, he was going toe-to-toe with time, but then at the end of the game, time broke away because he had almost 400 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, and he rushed for 1. And he only had an interception. That 2 interceptions kind of hurt when it came to Flacco, man. And this is the first time in a long time, too, that I've seen Brady not only beat the Baltimore Ravens team, but he beat them, and he had his big game. He had his best game against Baltimore. So that really went so well. I had to see this game right here. That not only did they win, but he won, and he played at the best, at the top of his game. But they never really happened. Even when they did win, he didn't play great.
Right. Yeah, I thought Brady played a pretty good game too. I like the adjustment that Belichick made in the second half.
Yeah.
We had Brady get rid of the ball faster. And I said that as well. how that pass rush, because that pass rush was ridiculous in the first half from Baltimore. Like, Brady couldn't set up. Like, every time Brady would do a play action and try to set up, somebody was in his face. Or when he was on the center, drop back, somebody in his face. Or even when he was in shotgun and he tried to set up and make his read, somebody in his face, he could make reads. So they had to give him quicker passes to slow that pass rush down. And I really like those adjustments, man. They made hell of adjustments in that second half. So yeah, that's what put the Patriots through to the AFC Championship game, which they will play. Well, then the winner of Indianapolis, Denver. I called it.
Yeah, you did. I agree.
I really felt like Indianapolis had this game under their thumb. I really did. The way they played in that first round, man, against Cincinnati, it was the way they played and the way they won. And I'm like, I just don't feel confident that Denver can win this game with Peyton Manning. It came out later that Peyton Manning had a torn quad. Something was wrong with him. I was like, something wrong with Peyton, man. Like, he isn't the same Peyton Manning, you know. And I felt like Indianapolis gonna win, which they did, man. They Indianapolis handled business. That's what they did. They went to Denver and they handled business.
Absolutely.
That's what they did, man. I mean, there's no other way to put it but the simple fact of they handled business. That's what they did.
Yeah, they had a good game plan against them too. I seen when I was looking at NFL.com that day. I shouldn't be saying this, but I was at work looking at it. And when I was looking at it, it was basically saying that, you know, the Colts and Vontae Davis and a lot of those guys basically used the Seahawks blueprint to basically rattle, you know, the Denver Broncos receivers. They basically took the pressure on them and they kept coming at them physically. You know, they kept playing physical. They were beating them up on the line and they were keeping the aggressiveness going with those guys because most of them didn't really show up, man, when I seen the game. And when I looked up after the game and I said, man, you know, what's going on? But then, you know, too, like you said, Peyton was hurt and some of his throws, like he just said, man, he overthrew, you know, Emmanuel Sanders, and a few times he wasn't on point throwing that guy's feet. And when it came out that he was hurt like he was, it made a lot of sense to me because if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was the Buffalo Bill game when he tried to run the ball in, or no, he tried to block for someone. And that little play, I looked, I said, man, he was kind of awkward when he was trying to block it. He went to the locker room and he came back out. That's when all that stuff was happening, when they said he was hurt. And we didn't know about it too much because it was so low key. And then all of a sudden, you know, it started coming out, you know, something's not right. What's wrong with Peyton Manning? He's not playing the same. He's not playing up to Peyton Manning's caliber. And that's when we found out about his injury. You know, I kind of figured something was going to come out about him and him not being 100%. But at the same time, you got to give credit to the Indianapolis coach because they went in there, they had a game plan, they stuck with it, they played their style of football, they didn't worry about Denver. But I'm not trying to say much, and I've seen something on TV on ESPN, the first take. I've seen a lot of guys talking about what was going on and what's happening with Peyton Manning, but you can't really blame a lot of that stuff on Peyton Manning as well because, yeah, he wasn't on point like he could have been. You know, his accuracy was a little off, you know, and it was due to his injury, but at the same time, you know, they had one of the top, you know, defenses as well. You know, they didn't pay TJ Ward, DeMarcus Ware, the key to leave to be put out in the divisional round. You know, they already have Von Miller and they have like national guys up front. I just don't really feel like, and with the exceptions, they paid Chris Harris this year too. They paid him pretty well to stay in Denver. They didn't pay these guys for nothing, man. So then they're not executing plays. You know, they didn't play well on defense. And when you're spending that much money and you're trying to invest into a defense and win championships, because when I seen what they did this offseason, I said, they're trying to win now. They're trying to win now in the Super Bowl and bust. And when I seen them, I said, okay, they got it, man. You're saying that's who New England was going after. And New England didn't quite get Helen Keller in. And they ended up, you know, getting TJ Ward, who I thought was a really great safety from Cleveland. And then I really thought it was crazy, and I thought that the Cowboys was out of their minds when they got rid of DeMarcus Ware when they released him. And I thought that was the end of their era, but, you know, they proved me wrong. But I knew that he wasn't going to be on the market for long. So, yeah, it's like there's a lot of question marks right now after that game. Like, you know, what Peyton Manning's going to do. Right now, we think John Fox, you know, and the Denver Broncos parted ways. You know, they're saying right now it's a possibility Adam Gase might be the new head coach, but at the same time, the other coaches are losing as well. You know, Dak Del Rio went to the Raiders. And like, man, they're trying to figure out what they're going to do over there. They're trying to figure out if Peyton Manning going to come back and re-sign with the team, because they said they were going to give him 4 or 5 weeks to figure out what he's going to do. So, yeah, it's really interesting to see what's going to happen over there. But, yeah, I'm definitely interested now, too, to see Andrew Luck and coming back into New England and see what he's going to do.
Yeah, who do you got in that game? Who you got in that game? Who you got going to the Super Bowl to play the Seahawks?
I think it's going to be Seattle Seahawks and New England Super Bowl. But I don't think that it's going to be an easy task this time around, because before New England beat, you know, the Colts, they beat them pretty convincingly. You know, both times they played them, you know, and now I don't think that it's going to be that easy. I say if New England win, it's only going to be by like maybe 10-point favor. Maybe I would even go as the saying 7. It's going to be a closer game than people think it's going to be. And I think that Andrew Luck this time won't give them all they can handle. But I think that New England should be enough, because when I looked at certain factors with the Peyton Manning game, I said a healthy Peyton Manning probably would have done a little bit more. But then at the same time, the defense was a little lackluster with Denver as well, with all those star caliber players over there. But I think a healthy time, a healthy run, you know, and the team having that momentum after that win that they had. And basically, it depends on who wants to go on, but I think the New England probably have a little bit left in their take on a little more than what Indianapolis will have. And I have moving going on to playing Seattle in the Super Bowl. But it's not going to be easy whoever plays Seattle, you know. It ain't going to be like the cakewalk. You really got to play a perfect game to beat Seattle. And I still think right now the momentum is still going to be in the NFC with Seattle.
Right. When it comes to this AFC Championship game, it's going to come down to Andrew Luck making mistakes or not making mistakes. If Andrew Luck plays the type of game he played against Denver, without those he threw 2 stupid interceptions in that game. If he turns the ball over like that against England, they're going to get blew out.
They definitely feast on that.
But I think, you want to be a Patriot, I'm a Patriot fan. But if Andrew Luck plays a good game, he sets that tone and don't make mistakes, I think Indianapolis can go to the Super Bowl. I really do.
I
think
no
the Patriots. Yeah, the Patriots are definitely beatable. I think that the Colts defense is clicking at the right time. They're playing very good. Like I said, they're playing very good football. They're playing physical. They're getting after the quarterback. They're playing very good in the secondary. Everything, man. They're playing real good. They're clicking. They're clicking like at the right time. They're having one of those runs, man, that in the playoffs where you have one of you just have a run, man, and you get a flow. So I think they're on one of those runs right now. So if like I said, it's all will come down to Andrew Luck's play. If he doesn't turn the ball over with stupid penalties, and I think Belichick is smart enough to bait him into him, bro. So for that reason alone, I'm picking Patriots, and I think the Patriots are going to kick their ass because I think Belichick is smart enough to bait Andrew Luck into those mistakes because even though Andrew Luck is a very, very smart quarterback, he's a gamer. He's a gunslinger. He'll throw that ball. He'll take a chance.
He'll take the weight off his shoulders.
Yeah. He'll take a chance. He's a gambling man sometimes with the ball. He'll say, man, you know what? I'm about to go downfield. I'm about to force it here, or I got good enough arm to get it through here, or whatever. Man, he's gonna test those corners. Those corners aren't to be messed with. And you got Revis and you got the other guy. I forget his name.
Brandon Bronner.
Yeah, Bronner. Yeah, but I think like I said, Belichick is going. I think Chuck Pagano and Andrew Luck, and yeah, I'm picking the Patriots. I'm picking the Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl. But we shall see. We shall see this weekend. We shall see this weekend. But yeah, man, I'm about to get ready to go to bed because I am like exhausted. But once again, man, it's been a great show. Always be a good show, man. On Wednesdays. So you guys should come check us out next Wednesday, man. We're gonna be previewing the Super Bowl next Wednesday. So it should be a fun show. We're going to get to some NBA talk. We're going to talk. I don't know if I'm going to do. No, we're not going to do that. So we're going to pretty much dedicate. We're going to do an NBA first, and then we're going to dedicate the rest of the show to the Super Bowl. And we're gonna work on something this week, and we're going this weekend, and early next week we're gonna have something special for y'all, like a special like Super Bowl show, something like that. So, on behalf of Hugh, myself, and producer Hugh, we want to thank everybody for listening tonight. And if you guys want to listen to the show, it'll be posted up on Blog Talk Radio, E-Block Radio. You can go ahead and check us out, and all the other episodes you guys may have probably missed or whatever. So we want to wish you guys a good night, and we'll check you out next Wednesday. Peace.
Peace.